Saludos amigos, KASH, President and CEO of KASH International Luxury Real Estate. Guys, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm coming to you today from beautiful Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. I'm specifically in Piantini. Guys, you know I talk about Piantini. I rant and rave about it constantly, and those that have visited understand why I'm doing that. Those of you that have not visited and have only been through the rush hour traffic in Santo Domingo is a massive city, guys. We have over 4 million people here. It is very large and spread out in many different areas, all different levels and feels and tastes, some very local environments that are not made for you North Americans, to be honest. And then you have places like Piantini that are resembling the likes of Brickell, amazing spots in New York, San Francisco. You have all these amazing type of restaurants and shopping opportunities that are all opening up here in Piantini. So guys, today's video is not about that. However, on a side note, I'm going to be bringing you a phenomenal project that is tailor-made for you North Americans that are big city people. Not everybody has to be a beach person to move to the Dominican Republic, and that's what's beautiful about this country. That's why it's so scalable, and that's why it's exploding. It's because you go to a lot of these other Caribbean countries, and you better love being on the beach and don't give a shit about being in the big city, because there's no big city and it is all beach life, and you could get city fever being in some of these countries, like we felt when we visited some of them. However, not the Dominican Republic. So if you're one of those big city dwellers and you can't imagine not living in a big city but love to visit the beach whenever you feel like it, Piantini, that's a place for you. So that's right outside my window over here, and that's where I'm coming to you from. But today's video is completely different than that, okay? Today what we're talking about is something unique. We're talking about the use of concrete in construction here in the Dominican Republic. We're going to explain to you a few reasons why concrete is used here and why it makes our construction, our structures that we're promoting and bringing to you guys so solid, so firm, and the differences between construction, what you're used to in North America. Guys, I'm seeing a lot of stuff on the news here. Inclement weather, tornadoes blowing through the Midwest, and that is just decimating. You're seeing wood 2x4s all over, you're seeing drywall sheets all over, you're seeing these places just absolutely decimated and destroyed because they're made of wood. Not the scenario over here. Okay guys, so we're going to run through a few reasons why and why I feel our construction is done better here. Now keep in mind guys, I'm talking about the kind of projects that I'm bringing to you guys, the kind of villas I'm bringing to you guys, to us North Americans, okay? So that's what I'm discussing here today, and we're going to dive deep why I feel it's so much stronger. All right, guys, enjoy this video. So, guys, what we're going to talk about here today is why do we here in the Dominican Republic, why do my builders, my developers, why do they use concrete versus wood? We're going to touch on a few different reasons why here in today's video. All right, let's get started. So the reason for using 2x4s in North America, 2x4s in wood construction in North America versus using concrete construction here in the Dominican Republic, there's several reasons why. We're going to go ahead and run through some of those reasons for you right now. Get ready. So the number one reason, very straightforward, simple reason, you end up using so much wood in your construction in North America because it's cost effective. For example, in Canada, okay, you have easy access to trees, easy access to lumber. 2x4s are coming at you, of course, not cheap anymore, but wood is more accessible and at a better price point for you than it is to have concrete construction. However, inversely, and to our benefit, concrete and the skilled trade surrounding that is more accessible here in the Dominican Republic. So what you're seeing is our structures that would have been made by wood, our villas that would have been made by wood back home in Canada, those are being built by solid concrete structures. So what you're getting is a very strong structure that can beat out those elements. For example, over here we don't have the tornadoes, but we'll have an occasional hurricane that'll come flying through. Dominican Republic, totally different than getting hit by a hurricane, let's say in Puerto Rico or in Jamaica, where you get decimated. Over here, depending on what side the hurricane comes from, you can get it pretty bad or not get it at all, but the Dominican Republic could still be hit. That being said, when it does come through and you do get hit and you feel the effects of that hurricane, when you have a solid concrete structure that's there, guys, that is absolutely essential to your survival of yourself and your family and your structure. Okay, so you're not getting as much damage here because of the concrete. Where you're seeing on the news, probably have one here today on the news if you're going to watch it, you're going to see tornadoes rolling through the Midwest, and they're just decimating, leveling entire cities. Those cities are made of wood. Okay, so that's one advantage that we have over here, over North America, related to our construction. Why we use so much concrete, and it is such a big plus for us over here. All right, so number 2 reason. The other reason that we are using concrete here versus wood, or why wood is being used universally in North America versus here. Wood is being used more so in North America because you have in so many regions different climates. Okay, so you have a 100-degree summer, and then you have a -50 winter. Okay, that is very standard across the board. You're seeing that a lot in most regions. Okay, I would say at least 70% of the regions have 4 climates. So when you have those 4 climates, what ends up happening is you have a lot of shrinkage. Okay, you have your house is constantly moving. Okay, it's shrinking, it's expanding. In the summer months, you get all that humidity and heat in there, and all those 2x4s in your home, they start to expand. And then you get in the cold, dry winters, they all shrink. So your house is constantly moving and expanding on a continuous basis annually. So why is that a positive for, and why is wood used in that regard? The reason wood's used then is because that helps avoid structural damage to your home, your villa, your buildings, okay? Because the wood is naturally allowing that movement to happen based on the outdoor temperatures, the humidity, and all those different elements. With that, you have that movement, and then you have no structural damage happening, which is great. Okay, inversely, you look at the Dominican Republic, the climate like the Dominican Republic. What do you get there? You have solid concrete structures. Because we don't have those different weather patterns, because we don't have that -50 and then that +100, we don't have those big extremes, we're able to utilize concrete, okay? If we use concrete in North America, what would be happening? You'd have a lot of cracks in those structures, especially in villas and stuff like that. You'd have a lot of cracks. When you're looking at high-rises, of course, you're gonna say, well, KASH, high-rises are made of concrete. But the amount of engineering expertise that goes into building a high-rise is completely different that goes into building a 2-story family home. So it would be cost prohibitive to use those technologies that you incorporate into a high-rise, into a 2-story home. It just wouldn't work. So what we're referring to is villa construction, not high-rise construction, 20, 30 stories up. It's a totally different thing. So because the weather extremes are not great here, you're able to utilize concrete across the board. Another big advantage of concrete over here for us is that concrete is a great insulation against heat as well. Okay, so that is used so widely used for centuries. Concrete is your go-to material for building your home here. Okay, so number 3, you've got the cost of labor. That's a big variable here. The cost of labor in North America is typically much higher. Not typically, it just is. Especially nowadays, the cost of labor is through the roof, and I talk about that a lot on my channel. So that is making it completely uneconomical to do construction for villas and personal homes with concrete. Typically, generally speaking, okay, the wood and drywall construction, that style of building is typically more cost effective and quicker. So because you're able to do it with wood, you're able to do it with drywall, you're able to keep those costs down. Now, when you're talking about the Dominican Republic, in the Dominican Republic, cost of labor is much lower, okay? We have so many skilled people that are used to working with concrete in the Dominican Republic because it's been used for so long. It's ingrained in the generation to generational people that are working with concrete. Okay, very often you're getting people that have been doing this not just for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. This is what they do their entire life, from the moment that they start working until the moment that they can't work anymore, and that passes on family to family. So you're getting highly skilled people that are able to work with concrete. That's something you're not getting as much in North America. It's kind of dime a dozen. It's very hard to find somebody that's great at concrete, even if you're looking to do your driveway and you just went through that. It's not easy to find people that are good at concrete work in North America. Over here, everybody's good at concrete work because it is the way that they build. The labor costs influence that as well. So because labor costs are low, you're able to put structures together in concrete that makes the structure stronger. You're able to keep your costs down at the same time and get high quality work done. So that's another important variable that allows us to use concrete where North America is not, is the cost of labor. So much lower, and that makes it way more feasible for us to put together these concrete structures. All right, so on to number 4. Another reason why concrete is used here and why it's better is seismic activity. Many parts of the Caribbean are subjected to seismic activity, meaning the ground moves, earthquakes, those type of external elements are another reason why concrete is preferred and has been used for centuries over here as a means of construction. Now, as time goes on and we're, building codes are getting stronger and stronger as they have become, and a lot of rebars using that concrete formulas are getting stronger. They're able to withstand even more so the effects of the ground moving. Now, wood does provide a lot of flexibility with earthquakes and seismic activity. However, there's no comparison to using concrete. When concrete is done properly, it is the best material that you're able to use related to seismic activity. Now, what we're doing over here, and I tell you often in some of my videos, is we're drilling right down to the bedrock and putting our foundations drilled right into that bedrock and bringing that up all the way. So you have maximum strength, maximum ability to withstand the shake of Mother Nature when there is seismic activity that's active in your area. So that's another big reason why we are using so much concrete here versus in North America, because many parts of North America are not subjected to that shake in the ground, okay, that seismic activity. So that's another important reason why so much concrete is used here. So number 5 is a cultural thing. The reason we're using so much wood in North America and so much concrete over here, it purely is cultural because of the access to so much wood. Wood was used in North America for centuries and centuries at this point, where Latin American countries like where we are in the Dominican Republic, concrete is a staple, like I was saying earlier. So it's very cultural at the same time. They're very used to working with concrete. They appreciate working with concrete. They have access to concrete. They have skilled workers. They have skilled workers that are affordable to hire to do your work. So a lot of cultural elements of that provide another reason why we use so much concrete here in our construction versus wood. So number 6, guys, is related to building codes. We kind of touched on that earlier. So related to building codes. Building codes, again, based on tradition and history, we have developed our building codes in North America around wood construction primarily, because because the building codes have evolved around that has made it the most efficient way to do construction, the most efficient and the safest way, because North Americans have really perfected the art of doing wood construction, and you're seeing that in a lot of new construction. You're seeing prefabricated houses coming, it's all framed, ready to go, and it's basically like a puzzle and they're putting it together. You're seeing a lot of that in North America. Okay, and that has to do with the building codes and regulations that have evolved over the years. Similarly, when you're in the Dominican Republic, because concrete is used for so long, the building codes, the regulation, all those things have really dialed in and focused on the concrete construction. So when you're seeing concrete construction happening here, it is happening with a lot of scrutiny and a lot of skilled labor that has gone into it, a lot of engineering, a lot of architectural perfection, because there's been so much practice, there's been so much regulation surrounding it, and it is just the way things have been done here. So you end up with people using a lot of concrete here, and concrete being done well and fast and efficient. And those are some of the reasons why you're seeing so much concrete used here. It's not just for economic reasons, it's because there's cultural reasons behind it, there's seismic activity, there's weather patterns, all those different elements is what has caused us in the Dominican Republic to use so much concrete versus back in North America, we're not using too much of it. We're using all wood. So those are some reasons why you see so much concrete here, because people ask me often, hey, what are you guys using there to build? And I'm always saying it's solid concrete structures. You see when I go into a lot of these pre-construction projects, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the gray structure, okay? The gray structure is solid concrete, whether we're doing a 2-bedroom villa or a 10-bedroom villa or whether we're doing 30 apartments. You're seeing that across the board, okay? So that's some of the reasons. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a insight into why it is like that. Either one of these products, whether you're using concrete or wood, offer their own benefits and challenges along with it. So you have to keep in mind that depending on where you're located geographically, there's going to be a higher need and want to use wood versus where we are in the Dominican Republic, a higher need and want to use concrete. Personally, I prefer, and most of my investors prefer, to see their buildings built in solid concrete. So many advantages to that. One being, even in the case of fires, okay? When you have a fire, you're not seeing an entire structure decimated and taken down because fire can't travel between these concrete. Like this structure I'm seeing right now is solid concrete. All around me, floor, walls, ceiling, all concrete. So if there is a fire, it's pretty much contained within this unit, within this office space. Okay, so that's another inherent. There's a lot of inherent benefits of using concrete. Therefore, I feel very comfortable with the concrete being used here. I think it is very advantageous. It's unfortunate we can't do that in North America. It's never going to change because of the reasons I've stated. However, they do use the wood because they do have to use the wood. We use the concrete because we have to use the concrete, and it ends up being a better build for you, for me, and for all you investors. All right, guys, just a quick video. I wanted to run through that for you. A lot of you ask me very often, hey, why are you guys using so much concrete? What are the structures made of? Hopefully that answers some of your questions. And guys, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. We're going to be sharing a lot of content with you related to building practices and procedures over the next year. Next year or so, we're going to really dive in deep to that. We're going to teach you a lot about the building process, because there's a lot of you that have been looking for information on that. So we're going to give you some of that whenever we get exposure to it. We're going to go ahead and share it with you. Hopefully it helps you out and teaches you more about your dream to love where you live and your dream to own property here in the Dominican Republic. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for joining us. Please remember to love where you invest, love where you live, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks so much.